everyone. I'm Larry Ridley. You're tuned into the...
All right, thanks, Larry. EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the heart of Texas and NRG Stadium in Houston. We count down to kickoff in what should be an epic one here between the Atlanta Falcons and the Tennessee Titans. To return, this is Mark Mariani. And with a new rule, that decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he only gets to the 20. Shift together here from the D-line.
Let's go! Green 39! Green 39!
Now here's the first carry for DeMarco Murray. And he'll find some space up to about the 25.
Holding offense.
Tonight we ain't going out, so we invited everybody. The made, well, they're way too strong, but ain't nobody saying sorry. The speaker's so blown, no one knows what it is, but we keep it on repeat 'cause we don't want it to end. We got the rest of our lives for the rest of our lives. The rest of tonight for whatever feels right. We're doing it our way, just acting our age. One day we'll look back just shaking our heads, but right now we're too fast to slow down just yet. We're doing it our way, just acting our age. Just acting our age. People here that I just met, but we're acting like we go back.
Hello, everybody. I'm Larry Ridley, and this is the NFL on EA Sports. The time for talk is over as we are just mere moments away from the Super Bowl.
Larry, they broke ground on this place in the year 2000, opened it in August of 2002, and it's been the home of this franchise ever since. Welcome to NRG Stadium in Houston. We count down to kickoff in what should be an epic one here between the Atlanta Falcons and the Tennessee Titans. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. Here's Murray now as they run it to start the drive. And nothing doing on his first run. Back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Nothing on that one. It'll be second down. So they're still at the original line of scrimmage here. Second down and 10.
All right, here we go. Boom, landed.
The play action fake. They'll look to throw. Oh, he's able to outmuscle him here as he pulls it in. 23 yards on the play. Well, we know he's got the speed there. He needed the speed and the hands. A great catch.
And because of that speed, you have to respect it as a defender. So you have to either play off or make sure you're somehow in contact with him. And he's able to do exactly what you said. Use the speed to his advantage and go up and get the football. That's a big-time play right there.
So we've got a 2nd and 5. Possible run anticipation. Here's the D-line sandwiches together. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. On this first drive, looks like they want to get that vertical passing game going early.
And they did, and what a warning shot they just fired. If you're not going to back up and play coverage deep, we're going to attack you all game long. And once you adjust to that and you start to back off, then that opens things up underneath. A really nice start for them. Great way to get the game going.
Nice job there defensively to clamp down because really they've been on their heels this drive.
Agreed, and they really needed that one for confidence, just to feel a little bit better. But I don't know if I would be daunted by them stopping me on one run. This drive has gone pretty well. I could come right back at them. Let's face it, perfection is something we all chase, whether it's playing this game or whatever we do. Hard to attain, but that's what they were searching for as that pass goes incomplete.
Now Castle goes underneath for Henry. And he will score. Touchdown, Titans. Derrick Henry, 29 yards. And the Titans take the ball down the field and score on their opening drive. Getting your back involved, what's the importance there in the passing game?
Well, oftentimes you can create mismatches because who's going to cover, and you get him into space, which is where he likes to operate with the ball in his hands. Oftentimes makes people miss, gets that run after the catch, and off he goes.
And into the end zone. Oh, look at the juke. And he'll be taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line. Throwing now, Ryan on first down. Hits his target, it's Taylor Gabriel. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 15 yards through the air and a first down. So on that play, defense was in the zone. They ran a crossing route offensively, but the defense there, you got to be good with communication, don't you?
You certainly do, and it's not something that is really evident when you watch it on the screen. But everyone's talking, communicating, pointing, and it keeps you from chasing receivers because you have a specific zone you have to cover. When a receiver's in your zone and he crosses to another one, you got to let your guy know. They got a completion there.
Ryan hit, and he lost the football. And his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it.
Here's the option going right. And some room to roam now. Look at this. Middle of the field, a breakaway. And he doesn't quite make it. They do stop him, but he gets it all the way down to the 1. And a new set of downs here after picking up the first on the ground.
First play of the drive, a first down run. That sets you up for whichever way you want to go. Do you come right back and run the football again because you've got them on their heels? Or do you play chess?
And into the end zone for a Tennessee touchdown. Jolston Fowler taking it in. And the Titans are going to add on to their lead. And he wasn't blocking or running it there. They tossed it to him.
And you remember the good old days when the 49ers were riding roughshod in the league? They used their fullback in pass plays all the time. Roger Craig, Tom Rathman, those guys were terrific at running these types of plays.
Here's Eric Weems now on the return. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And they had the fumble last time that led to a touchdown. That's a no-no. We'll see what they do here this go-around.
A big no-no. Put that in capital letters. Turning it over, the other team takes it down and scores. That can be a deflator for a football team. Now it's up to the offense to get back out on the field and pick things up.
You know, they're out there. We'll see if they can pick those things back up.
And when you watch Devontae Freeman run the football, you can almost close your eyes and hear him running the football, can't you? Because people just scatter. I mean, you know, when he goes through a pile, it moves in a positive direction for him. I just love how hard he plays the game.
1,000-yard season. He had 11 touchdowns last year. In March, 25 years old. So he's kind of hitting that sweet spot for a running back, isn't it?
He really is, and I still remember the evaluation of him coming out of college. He does everything well, but you weren't sure he had a dominant trait. Well, wrong about that. He's dominant just about everything.
Alongside Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin, it's the Falcons in possession to begin quarter number 2, and they've got it here with a first down. They come up in an offset eye. They go play action here on first down. Dancing to his left. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Brian Orakpo coming in from that outside linebacker spot. He gets him down for a loss of 5. On second down, Freeman. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. It's a loss of 4. Now third down. On third down, Devontae Freeman. They find some open field here. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40.
And that's why defense coordinators always preach 11 guys to the ball. Because sometimes you have a missed tackle, but if you have a swarm of guys around, less room for them to roam even after the first missed tackle. In this case, tackle was missed, plenty of open field to get after that.
The Pro Bowl wideout Julio Jones, his intended receiver. And that'll bring up second down.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
Nothing doing. Barely able to muster a yard to hit the 35. Avery Williamson there to make the stop. 8th play of the drive forthcoming, and they need 8 yards on third down. The former Indiana Hoosier here, Tevin Coleman. Oh, a nifty juke there.
Not much fun for a guy trying to tackle it.
And 12 yards that time and picking up the first.
Absolutely love the run right there. This guy's known for his quickness, but also for his speed. And he's able to get to the second level almost before you blink if you give him any type of blocking. Always talk about slot receivers, and they're usually known as quicker than fast. In this case, we've got a guy who's quick and fast, and he used it to great advantage.
That one good for 17 yards, and now they've got it first and goal. And with the play clock winding down, we're going to get a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. And a really long drive here, and it goes on and on. Now they'll throw it with Ryan. That is caught at the 7-yard line. And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. Mohamed Sanu from 6 yards away. And the Falcons have cut it to within a score. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase it.
Now after the touchdown, it's Bosher to kick it away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. They'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. And here comes Tennessee as they get set to take the field. And that recipe on their last drive that resulted in a touchdown looked pretty good, so they'll be hoping to do that once more.
And it takes me back to when we sat with the offensive coordinator and the head coach. They felt pretty good about their game plan and thought there were some holes in the defense, and they exploited them the last time out. Let's see if they can come back and put together a similar drive.
And we'll see if they can do just that.
And the defensive line controls the offensive front the way we just saw there. It doesn't allow any of the offensive linemen to leak downfield.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back, because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield.
And this throw will be intercepted. Ricardo Allen with a pick. And they will set up shop at their own 46-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And that last drive, it was all about the ground game, ground and pound.
And I don't care how we're playing the game these days, offensive linemen still want to fire out and smack the guy opposite them and move the football on the ground. They feel better about that. That's what they want to do. That's how they want to play, and that's how they got it done.
Yeah, they got it for a touchdown last drive. Let's see what happens here. A reminder, coming up at the intermission, we'll get highlights of the Super Bowl from Larry Ridley and the crew in Orlando with our EA Sports halftime report. He completes it to Julio Jones. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. Over 1,400 yards last year for Jones. Just 6 touchdowns, but, you know, of course he had the big 300-yard game. However, when he was blanketed with coverage, he always opens things up for other guys, doesn't he?
He does, and that's what's benefited Atlanta's offense. Other guys were able to step up. In 2016, Mohamed Sanu stepped up and had his best year as a pro. Austin Hooper, as a young tight end, really developed down the stretch. And Taylor Gabriel, who had come over as a free agent from Cleveland, he really flipped, actually led the team in touchdown catches. But there's only one Julio Jones, and you want to get the ball to him as much as possible.
They give him 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs.
And this is why trying to cover the angle route is so difficult. Anyone playing the linebacker position, when they see a running back out of the backfield widen because he heads towards the flat first, oftentimes...
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Wesley Woodyard coming hard on the blitz. He dumps him for a loss of 8.
And plays like that really hurt play calling. They had a really nice gain on the previous play, but gave about half the yardage back on the sack. Excellent pressure up front. Nowhere to go with the football. Down he goes.
And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
A nickel set shown by the Titans on 3rd down.
Thinking pass. He's going to rifle one deep left side. He dropped it. Couldn't hang on in the end zone. So no 6 points, incomplete.
In this situation, it's really tough to figure out how to defend because they have plenty of room to still take deep shots at the end zone as they just did there. Yet at the same time, you've got to be ready for the short throw. In this case, when you see the cue that they're going for the end zone, retreat and make sure you have a way to play forward, back towards the receiver, and have a chance to bat the ball away as they did there.
Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And as a result, it'll be Titan football on the turnover on downs. Here's the Titan offense now as they make their way back onto the field. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot. That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held them to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
So is the... You seriously just skip the halftime of the Super Bowl? Who does that? It's a Super Bowl. Watch the halftime show. All right, here we go. 3rd quarter action now. This is taken at his 4. And his guys are going to start their drive right at the 20-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half 2, no?
I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in the locker room. They talked about cleaning up some of the errors, but overall, I think they wanted to be positive with them. Guys, we're right there. Just not playing as well as we need to. Let's pick it up, and we still have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, they do. We'll see if they can pick it up.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and get the quarterback a really nice target. So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. It's almost a tendency breaker.
On first down, Ryan. Caught on the right side by Jones. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. They'll give him 8 on the play, and it'll make it second down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Incomplete on the right side. It's Tammy. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. Got a little handsy there, defensive holding, Charles.
And defenders will get away with as much as you will allow. The 5-yard mark tells the officials where the line should be drawn.
On first and 10, it's Ryan. Sheds a second man.
He's building up some momentum, isn't he?
They showed off a nice juke of the defender before the next wave could bring him down. Freeman, the lone man in the backfield. On second down, here's Ryan. Oh, what a move. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. They'll throw on first down with Ryan. Going for the deep ball. And it drops down incomplete. Thought he might have had it. Instead, second down.
And when all else fails as a defender, when you're not there in the coverage, your best friend is exactly what we saw there. A big play shot taken by the offense. Unfortunately, it ended in a big drop.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Fights off another.
I think the second tackler would have learned from the first.
Holding offense.
So oftentimes you see defensive holding. Here it's offensive holding for the flag. That'll go as a loss of 9, and it leads to third down. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. It's a gain of 7, and they'll be facing a 3rd and 12. Still in search of the first down after that last completion. So now a 3rd and 12 with an extra defender here in the secondary. A nickel look. And he's got his man, the tight end Tammy. And they'll get 10 there, but it leaves him just short for 4th down.
He wasn't the primary target, but I think it was almost like a check down situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, hoping he can break some tackles, a big tight end, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, get into that big frame and hope he can scatter some bodies, unable to get it done.
And the 14-year trusty veteran able to knock it through, and they'll cut the lead back down to 4 now at 14-10. A little bit of a lower trajectory there on the deep kick, and it worked.
Had to do it because he had to drive it out low because of the length of the kick. Able to do that, got it above the defense and over the post.
Fielded about a yard deep. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. The Falcons defense gearing up as they take the field. They begin the drive with a run by Murray. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
The defense won that play so fast that I think if the running back even had time to notice if anyone was there, it was just a blink of an eye, and there was a loss on the play.
Again, it's Murray. And they'll bring him down after just a short pickup. 3 yards on the pickup there, but they've only got it back to 3rd and 10.
They know that old expression, it's not my night. It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. One quarter remains here in the Super Bowl. We'll return with more after this break. Back now here on EA Sports. It's the Titans. They've got the football. They'll be looking to extend their lead here as we begin the 4th quarter. Looks like the defense in press coverage here. On first down, Murray. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. The fourth quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up at the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
That was second down run for Murray. And they're going to get him down, but not before a pretty good run right there. 8 yards there on the carry, and now they're left with a much more manageable 3rd and 3.
But you've got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a second and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
And that is incomplete. Rashard Matthews the intended target, and now it's 4th down. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This a chip shot, a 20-yarder. And Suckup will put this one right through, and that moves him up by a touchdown now at 17-10. So, Charles, I think from a defensive perspective, you have to look at that field goal there and consider it a win.
You were able to keep him within a touchdown, so no question about it. That was the kind of stand that keeps you in ball games.
And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that. And they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down. Executed it to perfection. 5 yards on the pickup, and it'll bring up a second down.
Yeah, he only gets a few yards on 1st and 10, but he's better off doing that than throwing an incompletion or even worse, an interception.
On second down, Ryan. And they're not able to hook up there. Incomplete. Trying to get that in the hands of Devontae Freeman that time. And it's 3rd and 5. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage.
Very difficult night for the guys on offense. They've got to be looking at each other in the huddle and on the sidelines. How are we going to find some open space to complete a pass and find open room to run? This defense all night long has squeezed down the passing lanes, made plays on the football. It's really been a thing of beauty for them. He's got to figure all day long prepping for the game, they had to have talked about it again and again. Squeeze passing lanes, and we'll be in great shape.
He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. Past the 20. They'll get 23 yards there. And it'll give the Falcons a first down.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you can get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
He hits his target. It's the tight end, Toilolo. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. The pass for negative yardage, obviously no good. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown it, or maybe he shouldn't have caught it.
I think we were seeing it at the same time, weren't we? Maybe you let that one go, right? Because you can see the lost yardage about to develop. But that goes against every instinct of a receiver. They're taught to catch everything. So it's really hard to be mad at him and yell at him for trying to make that play.
Here's the 7th play of this drive. This is 3rd and 4. 2 minutes to go in Super Bowl 51 from Houston. We're back to perhaps crown a champion after this. So it's Falcon football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Here's Ryan to throw. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Well, that plays a statistic that's going to go on the defensive team stat sheet. Won't necessarily reflect in ours, right, the overall game sheet. But you and I know that they keep count on pressures.
And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. Devontae Freeman taking it in from 11 yards out. And the Falcons are an extra point away from tying the football game.
Love the excitement we've got going here. They just scored the touchdown. They're down by 1. How much fun is it now to figure out the possibilities? Kick the extra point and tie it. Go for 2 if they're really feeling in a gambling mood. What do you do in this situation?
I think you kick the PAT.
Yeah, I do too. Kick it, get my defense ready, and try and stop them one more time.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. The Falcons set to get things rolling on defense again here. They're working here with a tie game. The question here I'd like to ask is, how aggressive do you play this defensively?
You just want to make sure that you don't give up the play that beats you. I mean, it's that's really your line of aggressiveness. Play it straight, make sure tackles, do what you have to do, but don't give up something big that all of a sudden you look at the scoreboard and say, we blew a golden opportunity.
I wouldn't mind OT. I wouldn't complain.
I wouldn't complain either. Just make sure you call the producer and tell him to cancel our table for dinner tonight.
Will do.
And coaches always harp on the quarterback reading the defense and getting it to the open man. That's good recognition there. And how about what he did after the catch?
Yeah, hit your tight end, let him get some rack.
Yeah, when he gets moving. Guys want to come over and put a hit on him, do they?
They'll come out in the pistol. Now Castle. Left side, caught by Matthews. That goes for a gain of 31.
Now that play will end up on the highlights, and you'll see it all over the place. But what you won't see, the offensive line that bought the extra time, that allowed for the big completion downfield, those guys made that play possible.
10th carry of the game now. Murray calling no gain on the play, and it'll be second down. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages.
Let's go!
They go with Murray again. And he is going to lose yardage here. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. And we are back here. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. So the offense takes the timeout. And now we're set to get going.
All right, here we go. Green 39. Green 39.
On 3rd down, Henry. No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave them with a 4th down.
One of the things I love about this game is there's a match of wits throughout the game. Who's going to get the advantage? Who's going to catch someone off guard? I feel like the offense thought they might catch the defense off balance with that play call, but unfortunately, that didn't work for them.
And Suckup will put this one right through, and the sideline celebrates as they have taken the lead in the final minute. That might just have been the most pressure-filled kick in Super Bowl history, but he stepped up, knocked it through just like it was a Tuesday practice in July.
And if it's not the most pressure-filled, it's certainly right among them. A title on the line, and he comes through. Nails.
Freeman, the lone man in the backfield. And they'll give it to him here. A strong running. Legs still churning.
Like a giant pinball.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. And they're singing in the Music City. The Tennessee Titans are your Super Bowl champions. And when this moment comes, I think you look back at all the blood, sweat, and tears, the offseason, the workouts, training camp, week 1, 2, 3, all building up now to say you're a Super Bowl champion. It's worth it.
It certainly is.